to heavyweight boxing today?
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, so over the last week, I dropped 2 separate Luis Ortiz videos, and I received a lot of comments. Appreciate the comments. Even if you don't agree with me or we have a difference of opinion, I really do appreciate the comments, man, on those videos and the viewership, all right? I just want to respond to all the comments kind of whole, so not just one person specifically, but just a lot of the comments, okay? And some of the comments that I was seeing were, Luis Ortiz is a drug cheat. Once a drug cheat, always a drug cheat. That's the comments I was seeing. Yes, he did fail a drug test. There's no denying that. I think some people in the comment sections, though, think he's failed like multiple drug tests. And I only know of one. I know he fought Latif Coyote in September 2014 for the vacant WBA interim title. Man, the WBA has pissed me off. They're trying to just collect sanctioning fees all over the place, making up these just different versions of the same weight class title. But anyways, yeah, that happens September 2014. And then I believe October 2014, they came out and said that he tested positive for nandrolone. Then they officially turned over the decision to I believe it's a no contest or no decision. I forget which it was, but they took the win away, I believe, January of 2015. So he failed the test the test came back, October 2014, and then they changed it on his record, January 2015. All right, so he served a 9-month suspension for that. That was 2014, you guys. It's 2017, and he's had, let's see, David Allen, Malik Scott, Tony Thompson, Bryant Jennings, Matias Vadando, and Byron Poli. He's had 6 fights in between that. I know Jennings said that he was not going to fight Ortiz unless there were strict testing. Ortiz complied. They did the testing, and he beat Jennings, okay? He beat Jennings the end of 2015, all right? So how much longer are we going to hold that failed drug test? When are we going to let that go? Now, I'm not saying obviously you're going to keep one eye open for anybody that's ever failed the drug test. I'm not being naive here, man, but I'm just saying, though, he served a 9-month suspension, paid his fine, set out. Now it's time to move on. Now, if he fails another test, then of course, we take it from there and do what we have to do. All right. Now, so that's my issue about him being a drug cheat, and somehow, some way, this means he should never get a shot at a title or that type of thing. I'm not saying that all you guys were saying that, but I just see that a lot in the comment section, like drug test, drug test, drug test. And I'm like, man, it's 2014, man. Like, it's 3 calendar years ago. That's 3 calendar years ago, man. Like, he's had 6 fights in between then. And Jennings said he's not fighting him unless it was strict drug testing. Okay, so that's that with that part. Another thing is people were telling me, oh, well, he shouldn't get a shot with the WBC because he wasn't signed up for the clean boxing program. Well, he signed up for it now. And I did videos on this, guy. I'm going to leave these videos in the description box. But I remember when the article came out, the WBC dropped guys. This was just recently. Well, in February, they dropped guys who were not enrolled in their clean boxing program, correct? All right. They dropped Jarrell Miller, and they dropped Luis Ortiz. All right. The thing about that, though, is the day that came out, Luis Ortiz manager came out on Twitter, and I did a video about it. He came out on Twitter saying, hold on, you guys informed us last fall, so the fall of 2016, you guys informed us that if you're in the top 15, you have to sign up for clean boxing program. His team, his manager and his trainer, they said that they sent the forms over in the fall. So what the hell is going on here? Now, I know some of you are going to say, hey, that's his team talking. I'm not going to believe his team. Of course, his team's going to have his back. My thing about that is, okay, but we can't pick and choose, man, when we want to believe the WBC. I'm not saying all of you, but some of you, just like me, we think the WBC is full of shit. You know what I'm saying? So let's not pick and choose here, you guys, when we want to take the WBC for their word and then when we want to not believe them. It's either, and I understand that some circumstances are different. I understand that, but I don't think his team, and then they even said they had the emails. This is what his team said. Now, did they release the emails to us to view? No, they didn't. But his team said they have the emails. And then what was so funny about this, the very next month, he was right back in the rankings. And he's in the rankings right now. So it makes you kind of scratch your head here. Now, if you're a big believer that the WBC said he was not enrolled and whatever, that's fine. If you think that his team had the emails, the thing is, he's right back in the rankings. That was just so funny to me, is he was right back in their rankings the next time they reshuffled the rankings, because they did take him out with Miller. And then the very next time they reshuffled the rankings, voila, he's right back in there. All right, so just something to think about, okay? Then I did a video 2016, February 12th, a few months after he beat Bryant Jennings. I did a video where his team came out. Well, him and his team said that they signed up for year-round testing, and because they had to sign up for the strict testing for Jennings, so they just said, you know what, the hell with it. Let's just sign up for this year-round testing to kind of clear our name. All right. Some people still, if you guys go to that comment section, people didn't even believe that, so that's fine. I'm just getting out to you guys what was put out there. All right. I try to follow this in order as much as I can with my channel as far as with the heavyweight. So that was stuff that was put out there. Whether you believe it or not, that's fine. All right. And another thing with why I believe he deserves his shot at the and just one more thing. When he failed that test, he was in line to fight Ruslan Chagaev. Chagaev at that time had the regular title, and after he beat Coyote, he was going to fight they're going to have the interim champ, which was Ortiz, fight the regular champ Chagaev, but then that fight fell through, and then after that, that's when Lucas Brown was trying to get his shot at either for that vacant interim title that got vacated after the drug test, or he wanted to fight Chagaev, and he ended up fighting Chagaev. All right, so another thing, and as far as, him not being able to get good fights, man, I know people say that, well, Luis Ortiz, he didn't look good against David Allen. He didn't look good against Malik Scott. He doesn't deserve shit. I've heard people say that. I'm scratching my head here like, so you mean to tell me if you're rated number 1 by a sanctioning body and you have a fight, you win the fight, you win all the damn rounds, but you didn't look all that great, that somehow means that he doesn't deserve to move on? That he should get docked points for not looking good, although he won all the rounds? I know he didn't look great against Malik Scott, and you guys have heard me interview fighters on my page, man, and I ask the fighters this all the time. Is it hard or harder to fight a guy that's in survival mode, especially a guy that knows how to survive, that actually has some damn skill too, but's in complete survival mode? They told me it's one of the hardest things to do. Now, that doesn't mean that you still can't get a knockout. He just wasn't able to get the shit done. You know what I mean? But he still won the fight, and pretty much won pretty damn convincingly to me. That's just my opinion, all right? But yeah, he didn't look like the second coming in those fights, but he won them pretty easily. I even heard people, even on my post-fight video for the Tony Thompson fight, knocked the dude down 3 times, fought him in his hometown, beat him up. People are saying he didn't look great in that fight either. And I'm just scratching my head here like, I mean, what's looking great? Like a 30-second knockout? A 2-minute knockout? I mean, I know what it is to look great, but I'm just saying, it's like, man, like people, I guess, man, it's a tough curve, right? Some of you guys judge these dudes on the turf on a steep curve, and that's cool, man. And another thing that bothers me about Ortiz in the WBA is January 2012, Luis Ortiz cracked the top 5 of the WBA. He was rated number 5, January 2012. Dennis Boystoff was rated number 4. Alexander Yusinov was rated number 3. Robert Helenius was rated number 2. And Hasim Rahman was rated number 1. And Povetkin was the regular champion. September of 2012, Ortiz worked his way up to, he was the number 2 rated guy by the WBA. Hay was rated number 1. Povetkin was still the regular champion. All right. Now, the time he had to serve his suspension, if you just take out those 9 months from, let's just go September 2012, he was rated number 2, and he worked his way up to rated number 1. So he's been ranked number 1 or 2 since September of 2012 until right now. Again, take that 9-month chunk out, though, because he was serving his suspension. I think they bumped him out when that happened. I think they put him at they took him out the top 10, and then he had a fight, and then he worked his way back up to number 1. So I think he was rated number 11. Then I think, I should have looked it up, but I think he was like at number 8. And then the very next fight, he was right back at number 1. So come on, man. 5 years, this dude's been rated number 1 or 2 pretty much for the last 5 years. I understand that Povetkin, Chigayev, guys held that regular title. So if you want to say he was rated number 1, but there was a regular champion, okay, well, he was one of the top damn 2-3 dudes that should have been getting title shots. You know what I mean? Chigayev had a shot against Klitschko before. Povetkin had a shot at Klitschko before. David Hayes had a shot at Klitschko before. Hasim Rahman was rated number 1, 2000. He's had a shot before. You guys get where I'm going with this? Like, and then people say, well, who has he beat? I mean, we can play that game with everybody in the heavyweight division, guys, if we really want to do that, man, the who has he beat thing. You know what I mean? He didn't look good against David Allen. Okay, well, Dillian White didn't look all that great. If we're going to go by that logic, he went the full 10 rounds with him. Now, some of you may say, oh, they shouldn't have stopped the fight with Allen. Okay, well, that's fair enough, man. But it's, you know, let's just hold all these fighters to the same standards of who did he beat and he didn't look that great against this guy. You know, if you're rated highly, you win, you sweep damn near all the rounds, but you didn't look all that great. That doesn't dock you points, man, and move you down. You still get to move forward. And maybe Ortiz is the type of guy, I know he's getting up there in age, but maybe he's the type of guy that fights down to the level of his opponents. Can he beat Deontay Wilder? That's what I want to see. I don't know. Can he beat Joshua or Parker? I don't know. That's what I want to see. I'm getting tired of sitting here playing this we just talk about it all the time. And that's why I want to see the dude fight. You know what I mean? That's why I want to see him get his title shot. You know what I'm saying? So, and then right now, and then with this regular title, I mean, so if Shannon Briggs and Oquendo's going to fight, I mean, do we rate Briggs and Oquendo higher than Luis Ortiz? I guess technically they'll be the regular champion. And then the WBA had that little tournament they were putting together last year where originally it was Tyson Fury and Klitschko was going to be the rematch. The winner of that fight was scheduled to fight the winner out of Ustinov versus Ortiz. The other side of the bracket originally was Lucas Brown versus, I'm going to forget. I know Freza Kendall had a bye. And yeah, Brown had the bye. No, I'm sorry. Oquendo had the bye, and he had a bye because he originally had a rematch clause against Ruslan Chigayev years ago, but he ended up got injured like 2 training camps in a row where he couldn't get a fight because he kept getting injured, but he had a rematch clause. Chigayev was going to fight Lucas Brown. Well, he did fight Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown beats Chigayev. He moves on. He was supposed to face Oquendo, and then Lucas Brown failed the test. Then he came back. Then Oquendo wasn't going to fight originally. It's going to be Brown. Remember, guys, it's going to be Brown versus Briggs. Brown fails another test, and now it's Oquendo versus Shannon Briggs. I hope I didn't confuse you guys. All right, so let me just do that one more time. Last year, the WBA put together a tournament. Klitschko Fury was the original fight set for their rematch. The winner of that was going to fight the winner of Luis Ortiz versus Ustinov. Okay. Take Fury out now because he did what he did, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then we put Joshua in there. So technically, if they're still doing this tournament, Joshua beat Klitschko. Ortiz and Ustinov never happened because according to Ortiz and his team, they said that Ustinov did not want to sign up for VADA testing. Ortiz has gone on to say that, you know, in these type of fights, he wants testing to be involved so there'll be no excuses between, you know, with his opponent, so on and so forth. According to Ustinov and his team, his manager said, and let me read his quotes. He said, Ortiz was problematic and imploded the whole fight. Okay, so believe who you want to believe. All right. The other side of the bracket, Ruslan Chigayev versus Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown knocked Chigayev out. Then he failed his drug test. He was going to fight Freza Kendall that next round. Lucas Brown comes back. They order him versus Shannon Briggs. They're going to make Oquendo wait. They scrapped that after Brown failed the test. Now it's Oquendo versus Shannon Briggs. I believe next month, June 3rd. Okay, so I hope I didn't confuse you guys. All right, but so the tournament kind of fell apart with all these different drug test fails and all this type of stuff. All right, so the WBA said that Ortiz can just move forward and just fight, and they just put him as the mandatory since that happened with Ustinov. They let him move forward. Now, in that time, Ortiz still tried to get some good fights. I know when he fought Thompson, he offered the fight to Jarrell Miller. He offered it to Andrew Ruiz Jr. Both of those gentlemen told me that they would have fought him, but it was too short of a notice. And I think he was offering him like 3 to 4 weeks. I know Andy said he at least wanted a few months, and Jarrell said he'll fight him. He just didn't want to do it on 3 weeks notice. And it was literally like a 21-day notice when he was trying to get Jarrell Miller to fight him. Okay. So, and you can take from that what you want. All right. And then people forget this too. Before he fought Malik Scott, he was originally ordered to fight Carlos Takam. Takam said he didn't want to do that. He wanted to fight Johan Duhaupas for the WBC silver title. That WBC silver title fight that was supposed to take place in January didn't happen because Duhaupas instead decided to take the unsanctioned fight because the WBC was not going to sanction the fight. He took the fight with Povetkin in December, if you guys remember. That's when Stavern had pulled out because ironically, Povetkin failed the test. But even before that, Stavern had failed it. I mean, there's so many damn failed tests going on, man. Look, guys, I just want you guys to stay consistent. When guys are failing tests, let's stay consistent about guys being drug cheats, and you don't want to see guys fight guys. Because Stavern, I know he took something. They say it wasn't as bad or whatever. I didn't do the science and research on it. The only thing I seen was just a positive test. That's what I seen. And so I know some drugs are more lethal than others, okay? But I'm just saying, let's just stay consistent when we start calling everybody drug cheats and this guy shouldn't get this fight and this guy. Let's just stay consistent with this, man. That's all I'm asking. If you're pro, want to ban guys because they failed tests, let's just be consistent, even if it comes to guys that you like. All right. And I'm not saying that all you guys aren't consistent, but I just see some fans, man, when it comes to other guys, even in other divisions that fail tests, I'll be reading comments like, well, shit, with the heavyweights, you want this guy banned forever. You know what I mean? But with this guy, so it is what it is. And I know every circumstance is different, man. But all in all, man, in a nutshell, what I'm saying is this. Do I think Ortiz can beat all these guys and they're scared of him? I'm not going to say that, but what I will say is let's just see. Let's just get him in there and see. And if he falls face first, then that's what happens. If he wins, then hey, told you so. We can say that, right? If he loses, you can come to me and say, hey, man, I told you the dude wasn't no good. I told you, this, that, and the third, what happened to him. Fine. All I know is he's highly rated, man. That's all I know is he's highly rated. I told you guys, man, he cracked the WBA's top 5 in 2012 of January, you guys. That was January. And he's been rated number 1 or number 2 pretty much, unless that 9-month span, if you don't count that, from September of 2012, you guys. So, I mean, we've had guys like Hasim Rahman come and go since then, Dennis Boystoff, and all these other guys that were rated around him or above him, man. When's he going to get his shot? I understand Joshua got things going on, the Pulev situation, the possible Klitschko rematch. I understand all that. I'm taking into consideration.